Okay. Quickly. All right. Here's the deal. All right. I'm going to share a little bit with you about what's been happening with me the last few weeks. And I'm usually coming on and telling you that I am not an angry black woman. But today, I'm mad. So let me give you a backdrop. A woman of God invited me to be, thank you for joining, Sabri, to be on a panel. And I looked at everyone that I was around, and everybody were doctors or pastors or reverends and things of that nature. And Janie Dadweiler. And I thought, wow, God. But you know, the words say that your gift will make room for you. And some things started at the onset of that invitation. And I knew there was going to be some challenges regarding transportation, because my car went out a few months ago, which was crazy how it even went out and kept spending money on it. It was like putting money into the abyss. And each repair became even more expensive. So needless to say, I'm without a car. However, God was providing transportation. Let's move forward. I was blessed to have a friend's car at the time that my mom was sent to the emergency room the eve of New Year's Eve. They were really counting my mom out, but God. And coming up to the eve of the Marketplace Summit, there had been an agreement that I would use the car to get to the summit. And kind of at the last minute, it was fizzled out. That's okay. So that Saturday morning, I get up and I'm like, God, you know I want to be at that summit. I promised this woman of God that I will be there. I don't know how I'm going to get there. And my heart is really, aching because I can't keep that obligation. Seemingly. So I went over into my prayer room. And I was just sitting there and I was just talking to God. And this phone call came in, but the phone call was from someone whom I had spoken with the previous year. And at the time, they didn't have a car. So this is what the devil tells me. No need of you calling them back right now. They don't have a car, remember? They can't help you. So I thought, well, that's true. Okay. But anyway, as I sat there, it was still pressing upon my spirit to make that call to them. I made the call, and the woman of God said to me, God placed you on my heart this morning. What are you doing? What are you doing today? And I said to her, I was supposed to be at a conference today, a summit today in Douglasville, Georgia. I said, but my transportation fizzled out, so I don't know how I'm going to get there. These were her words. Send me your address. I'm on the way. Devil tried to stop that. And I thought, God, you are amazing. Now, what if I had stayed in flesh, thinking what had been, I would have missed that blessing. We went to the summit. The summit was awesome. She was blessed. She was blessed with gifts. The women and men at that summit was just, it was amazing. God moved in a mighty, mighty way. Needless to say, I shared some information that day that I had never shared publicly before. And it came out of me. It just flowed so easily out of me. And I thought, wow, I wasn't planning on saying that. But it just flowed out of me. So when I come home that next week, my sinuses, they just tore into me really badly. So I was working on them, naturally or whatever. So it seemed to have gone away. And then last week, it came up again. So I was thinking, what is this? It's not wanting to go. And then God gave me a dream. And he gave me an interpretation in the dream that the infection was a spirit trying to hold on to me through the connection of a person, and it doesn't want to let go. And I thought, oh, the devil is alive, because they're gone. They are definitely gone. So I thought, okay, you're going to try and attack me in my body. So I'm telling you all this so you can understand the escalation of the threat from the enemy. So on Sunday, a friend of mine came to pick me up to bring me to church to worship with them. And as I was sitting there, the pastor preached on victory. And as I was sitting there, I hear God say, you do a periscope today before that Super Bowl game. And I thought, okay. And then I'm wondering, what is it going to be about? Because I don't know, but I know that I am to do a periscope. So when I get home, I come in and I go right to do a short periscope before the Super Bowl game, because a lot of people don't know that domestic violence increases incredibly during the Super Bowl. So as I'm getting ready for the game, I'm going to make some tea. Let me give you a backstory about the stove, the gas stove. When I was young, my mom wanted me to light this oven. And as I tried to light the oven blew up in my face and kind of got some of my eyebrows and stuff. So needless to say, I was traumatized forever. Excuse me about that. So I never really wanted to cook with gas. So Sunday, where I live, there is a gas stove, and I'm very, very, very careful with it. Very careful with it. So I come in, I turn the pilot light on, and that's the reason I'm doing the scope in the kitchen, because this is where the attack came. And I turn it on. The flame is under the pot, like it normally is when I'm heating up the water. So I go back into the living room and I sit down and I'm watching the game. This is what I hear. That small, still voice, that still, small voice. Go check on your water. I come in to check on the water. There is no flame under the pot. No flame under the pot. And I thought, what is really going on right now? What is really going on right now? So I made sure I turned it to the off point on the knob. And I opened the window to make sure that the gas would go out. And I said, oh, you're going to try to make it seem like an accident happened and I get blown up in the house by a gas leak. So you mad now? That's why I named this scope. Oh, you mad? Well, guess what? I am too. I am very mad now. Because yet again, God has shown you who He is in my life. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I'm not on the sideline anymore. I'm not sitting back trying to be politically correct anymore. Yes, I'm going to educate as many people I can about you. Domestic violence and domestic abuse. Needless to say, Sunday night I didn't rest well at all. Had a terrible time. My sinuses, just could not breathe. It was just horrible. So I got to a point where I had to call the doctor on Monday. And they told me to come into the doctor's office. I go into the doctor's office and my doctor say to me, Miss Deadweiler, you really should have gone to the emergency room. I said, well, the advice nurse told me to come on in. And I came in to see you. Well, she does what she can, and then I'm not clearing up. And she said, I'm going to have to send you on to emergency. You got to go. So I go to the emergency room, and guess what? They admit me. Oh, man. I just got home from the hospital. I've been in the hospital. And I think subconsciously what really hit me was that the enemy attacked me with that stove. Literally putting the flame out from under the pot. And as I laid there talking to God in the hospital bed, I said, Father, thank you for your grace and mercy. Thank you for your protection. Because you are showing me that all I need to do is what you tell me to do. You got me. You got me. So, principality and wickedness behind domestic abuse and domestic violence. Oh, you mad now? I'm mad too. So, from this day forward, understand that every medium I have, every mouth that I can use to come against you, we're coming against you. And that underworking Jezebel spirit that you operate out of. So, yeah, I'm a hat on my head, no makeup, I'm looking crazy, but it doesn't matter because this is the unadulterated truth today. God is faithful. God is faithful. And I'm going to recover because I'm going to be pumped up on these steroids. And when I get pumped up on these steroids, I feel like I can do anything. But I know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys today to let you know just how quickly after my Periscope on Sunday, excuse me, about domestic abuse, how forceful the enemy came in at me. How forceful. Can you imagine if I had not been in relationship to be able to hear God's voice? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I could not have heard that small, still voice? Tell me, go check on your water. I got a God that's real in my life. Peace and blessings. I am Queen Warrior, and I war against domestic abuse and domestic violence. Thank you for listening.